The history of Indonesia begins long before the arrival of European explorers. Already around 5000 before Christ, hunters and gatherers settled the fertile islands of the archipelago. Later, around 2000 before Christ, migrations from South China and Taiwan led to the formation of early agricultural societies that cultivated rice and used metal tools. From around 500 before Christ, the first trade contacts with India developed, and Hindu as well as Buddhist influences spread throughout parts of the archipelago. In the 1st century after Christ, trade centers emerged along the coasts, which were particularly visited by Indian and Chinese merchants. In the 7th century after Christ, the Hindu-Buddhist kingdom of Srivijaya on Sumatra reached its peak. Srivijaya controlled trade through the Strait of Malacca and was an important center of Buddhist scholarship. From the 8th to the 13th century after Christ, the powerful kingdom of Mataram emerged on Java, which built Hindu-Buddhist temples such as Borobudur and Prambanan. From the 13th century after Christ, Islam spread to Indonesia through trade contacts, first on Sumatra and later on Java and other islands. In the 15th and 16th centuries after Christ, Islamic sultanates emerged, including the Sultanate of Malacca and the Sultanate of Demak. From the early 17th century after Christ, European powers began to exert influence. The Portuguese were the first Europeans to establish trading posts, but soon the Dutch followed, founding the Dutch East India Company and gradually gaining major influence over Java, Sumatra, Borneo, and the Moluccas. In the 18th and 19th centuries after Christ, Dutch colonial rule consolidated its control over the entire archipelago. During the Second World War, Indonesia was occupied by Japanese troops. After Japan's surrender in the year 1945, Indonesian nationalists under Sukarno and Hatta declared independence. This led to a 4-year war of independence against the Netherlands, which ended in 1949 with the official recognition of the Republic of Indonesia. After the official recognition of Indonesia's independence in the year 1949, the young republic began building state structures, an administration, and a national army. Sukarno became the first president, and Muhammad Hatta vice president. The early years were marked by political tensions between nationalists, communists, and Muslim groups, as well as regional separatist movements. In the 1950s, Indonesia pursued a policy of neutrality in international politics, joined the non-aligned movement, and followed an anti-colonial policy. At the same time, economic problems, hyperinflation, and corruption affected political stability. From 1950 to 1950, Indonesia experienced a period of parliamentary democracy, which was, however, often marked by political crises and military interventions. In the year 1965, General Suharto came to power after a failed coup attempt and massive political unrest. Under Suharto, the authoritarian New Order regime was established, combining stability and economic growth with strict control over politics, media, and opposition. During this period, many infrastructure projects were carried out, and Indonesia experienced strong economic growth, but human rights violations, suppression of political opponents, and corruption were widespread. After the Asian financial crisis of 1997 to 1998, growing dissatisfaction with Suharto led to his resignation after nearly 40 years in power. Indonesia entered the so-called reform period, reformasi, characterized by democratization, free elections, strengthening of civil society, and decentralization of administration. Since the year 2000, Indonesia has held several peaceful presidential elections, with presidents such as Abdurrahman Wahid, Megawati Sukarnoputri, Susilo Bambang Yudhoyono, and Joko Widodo elected. Indonesia's democracy today is considered a stable parliamentary presidential hybrid system. Economically, Indonesia has developed into an emerging economy, a member of the G20, with growing foreign trade, especially in raw materials and agriculture, as well as an expanding services and technology sector. Challenges remain, however, in inequality, corruption, environmental protection, and integrating more than 250 million people of different ethnic groups and religions. Culturally, Indonesia continues to be shaped by diversity. Hundreds of languages, religions, and traditions characterize society. Politically, economically, and internationally, Indonesia today plays an important role in Southeast Asia and on a global scale.